Yo, what's good, Laker Nation? I need every single one of you to stop whatever you're doing and give me your full attention right now, because something just happened on First Take that has the entire NBA world in absolute chaos, and I am still trying to process what I just witnessed. Luka Doncic, our franchise superstar, just sat down with Stephen A. Smith on live television for what was supposed to be a standard offseason interview about the Lakers' plans after getting swept by the Thunder, and what came out of Luka's mouth was the most explosive, most revealing, most unprecedented thing I have ever heard from a Lakers player on national television. He dropped bombs. He let information slip that the front office clearly did not want public yet, and by the time the interview was over, Stephen A. Smith was on his feet screaming, and every NBA insider's phone was blowing up with one name. Let me tell you exactly what happened. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. So here's the context. The Lakers just got swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference semifinals. 4 games. Done. And here's the cruel part. Luka didn't play in any of them. He strained his left hamstring on April 2nd during a game against the Thunder in the regular season and missed the final stretch plus the entire playoffs. He sat on the bench in a sweatsuit and watched his team lose 4 straight to SGA and Chet Holmgren. The Lakers finished 53-29, won the Pacific Division title for the second consecutive year, beat the Houston Rockets in 6 games in the first round without Luka, but then got absolutely demolished by Oklahoma City. LeBron James gave everything he had at 41 years old. Austin Reeves scored 27 points in the elimination game. Rui Hachimura had 25. But without Luka, this team simply couldn't compete with the Thunder's talent. So First Take books Luka for an exclusive sit-down. Everyone expects him to talk about the injury, the frustration of watching from the sideline, his recovery timeline. And for the first 10 minutes, that's exactly what happens. Luka talks about how devastating it was to watch Game 4 from the bench. He mentions how proud he was of Reeves and Hachimura for competing. He acknowledges that the Thunder are an elite team. Standard stuff. Professional answers. And then Stephen A asked the question. Stephen A said, Luka, you went on NBA Today after the sweep and called for a complete overhaul of this roster. You said you need fresh legs. You need someone in their prime next to you. What does that look like specifically? And Luka's entire energy shifted. His eyes got intense. He leaned forward in his chair, and instead of giving a diplomatic answer, he said something that made the studio go dead silent. Luka said, Stephen A, I'm done being careful with my words. I said what I said after the sweep, and I meant every word. This team needs a star, not a role player, not a complimentary piece. A bona fide, proven, 7-time All-Star who can score 28 points per game and who can take over games in the fourth quarter when the defense is locked down. I need someone who can create his own offense so that when I come back healthy next season, we have 2 guys who can carry the scoring load. Not just me. Not just LeBron, who is 41 years old and might not even come back. I need a partner, and there is a specific player in the Eastern Conference right now whose situation is creating an opportunity that this franchise cannot miss. Bro. Stephen A's jaw dropped. The studio went completely silent, because everyone watching knew exactly who Luka was describing. 7-time All-Star, 28 points per game, Eastern Conference, situation creating an opportunity. That is Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers. There is literally no other player in the NBA who fits that exact description. Mitchell averaged 27.9 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.7 assists this season. He's a 7-time All-Star, he's in the Eastern Conference. And Fred Katz of The Athletic has reported that the Cavaliers will explore trade scenarios if Mitchell doesn't sign an extension. Luka just went on live television and basically confirmed the Lakers are pursuing Donovan Mitchell. I literally had to rewind my TV 5 times. Stephen A immediately said, Luka, it sounds like you're describing Donovan Mitchell, and Luka tried to walk it back. He said, I'm describing the type of player we need. But then he kept talking, and every word made it more obvious. He said, I need a guard who can score 30 any night, who can hit step-back threes in the clutch, who has playoff experience at the highest level. Someone who just scored 39 points in a single half of a playoff game and tied an NBA record. You tell me how many players in this league can do that. I'll wait. And then Luka said something that sent shockwaves through the Lakers fan base. He said, "I've already had conversations with Rob Pelinka about what this roster needs to look like. And what I told him is simple. No one on this roster should be untouchable except ME. If it takes sending pieces out to bring the right player in, do it. I didn't come to Los Angeles from Dallas to get swept in the second round. I came here to win championships. And what happened against Oklahoma City was pathetic. The front office traded Anthony Davis to bring me here. They made a bold move. Now they need to make another bold move because right now, this roster as currently constructed is not a championship team." Man, did you hear that? Luka just said nobody is untouchable except himself. He confirmed conversations with Pelinka about specific trades. He referenced the AD Luka trade as proof that this franchise makes bold moves, and he demanded another franchise-altering trade. This is the most aggressive public statement from a Lakers star since Kobe demanded a trade in 2007. And then Luka addressed the LeBron situation, which I think is the key to this whole offseason. He said, "I love LeBron, he's the greatest ever, but LeBron is 41. He said he doesn't know what the future holds. Coach Redick said the decision will come within 2 months. And I can't build my future around hoping a 41-year-old comes back. I need to know that this organization is going to put a championship roster around me whether LeBron returns or not. The player I'm talking about is 29 years old. He's in his absolute prime. He gives us a championship window for the next 7 years. That's what I need. Not hope. Certainty." Stephen A. pushed harder. He said, "Luka, if the Cavaliers lose their Game 7 against Detroit today, do you think Mitchell becomes available?" And Luka smiled. That was the giveaway. He said, "All I'll say is this. If a 7-time All-Star is sitting at home watching the conference finals after getting knocked out in the second round for the 4th straight year, and his team just traded away their original point guard to bring in a 36-year-old James Harden who might leave in free agency, and the front office is staring at a $50 million contract with a player option on the horizon, I think every smart team in the NBA should be making that phone call to Cleveland. And I know for a fact that the Los Angeles Lakers will be first in line." The interview went to commercial, and I was losing my mind. Luka had just laid out the entire case for a Mitchell trade. He described the player, the situation, the urgency, and confirmed that the Lakers front office is prepared to act. When First Take came back, Stephen A. tried to pivot to other topics, but Luka kept coming back to the Mitchell theme. He said, "Let me explain why the fit would be perfect. I'm a playmaker. I averaged 37 points per game before my injury this season. I can run the offense, set guys up, create for others. What I need is a scorer next to me, someone who doesn't need me to set them up. Someone who can go get a bucket on their own when I'm resting or when the defense doubles me. The player I'm talking about is exactly that. He's a shot creator, an isolation scorer, a guy who thrives in the pick and roll. Put him next to me and defenses have no answer. Double me? He scores 30. Send help to him? I find the open man. Play us straight up. One of us is going for 40. That is the kind of duo that wins championships." And then came the nuclear moment. As the interview was wrapping up, Luka looked directly into the camera and said, "I want Laker Nation to hear me clearly. I'm not going to be quiet anymore about what this team needs. I didn't come to LA to be comfortable. I came to win. And if the organization shares my urgency, this summer will be the most important in Lakers history since the Shaq signing in 1996. The player is out there. The opportunity is out there. Now is the time to strike. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes." Those are the words of a franchise player demanding a specific trade. And when Luka Doncic, a player the Lakers moved heaven and earth to acquire by trading Anthony Davis, says, "Whatever it takes," the front office listens. Now, let me give you my analysis because the implications of this interview are massive. First, the basketball fit. Mitchell alongside Luka would give the Lakers the most explosive offensive backcourt in the NBA. Mitchell averaged 27.9 points on 48.3% shooting and 36.4% from 3. He scored 39 points in a single half against the Pistons, tying an NBA playoff record. He's a career 27.9 points per game playoff scorer. Luka averaged 37 points per game before his injury and was putting together an MVP caliber season before going down on April 2nd. Together, that's potentially 65 combined points per game from your two primary scorers. No defense in the NBA can handle that. Not Oklahoma City, not San Antonio, not Denver, nobody. And think about the specific on-court dynamics. Luka runs the pick and roll, the defense collapses on his drive, he kicks it out to Mitchell on the wing. Mitchell, with his explosive first step, attacks the closeout and either finishes at the rim or pulls up from mid-range, or flip it. Mitchell has the ball in ISO. His defender is locked in on him. Luka moves off the ball, comes off a screen, and is wide open for a three. Mitchell finds him. Bang! The gravity these two create for each other would make every other player on the roster better. Reeves becomes the third option instead of the second, which is where he thrives. Hachimura gets more open looks because defenses are scrambling to cover Luka and Mitchell. The entire offensive ecosystem transforms. The cost would be significant. Mitchell makes $50.1 million next season. To match that salary, the Lakers would need to include Reeves, $18.20, Hachimura, $20 million, an additional salary filler plus draft picks. Losing Reeves, who proved he can perform in the playoffs with 27 points in the elimination game, hurts. But here's the cold reality. Austin Reeves is a very good player. Donovan Mitchell is a star, and championships are won by stars. The Cleveland factor is critical. The Cavaliers are playing Game 7 against the Pistons today, May 17th. If they lose, this is Mitchell's fourth year in Cleveland without getting past the second round. He's never made a conference finals with the Cavs. They traded De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. They traded Darius Garland for James Harden at the deadline. And Harden, at 36 with a $42 million player option, might walk in free agency. If the Cavs lose today and Mitchell declines the extension, Cleveland is looking at a potential rebuild around Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. Trading Mitchell while his value is at a peak rather than losing him for nothing in 2027 becomes the smart move, and the Lakers, with their brand, their market, and Luka Doncic, offer the most compelling destination in the league. Laker Nation, I need you in the comments right now. Is Donovan Mitchell the answer? Would you trade Reeves and Hachimura to get him? And was Luka right to go public with this demand? This is the most important offseason since Luka arrived. The clock is ticking. Game 7 is today, and the result could change everything. Smash that like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because if Cleveland loses tonight, the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes begin immediately. And Luka Doncic just told the world the Lakers are coming. Stay tuned, Laker Nation.